Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today for our very first case study webinar. My name is Michaela Anderdal, and I'm Nimble's Community Manager. And today I'm joined by our dear friend and customer, Brett Banyas from OMI. One of the things that our customers ask us about is if they can use Nimble to set up drip campaigns and automate their sales processes. And as of now, we do not offer these features. And that's why I invited Brett to talk about his solution and how he's been managing this with his company. Brett has been a Nimble customer for, I believe, close to 5 years now, and he uses Nimble together with a product called 366 Degrees. And I'm excited for him to show us how he's using it to set up drip campaigns and how he's basically using it to run his business. And he'll also walk us through how he can see everything that he set up inside of Nimble on each individual contact record. I also know that we have some people here today, they are new to Nimble, so I will start today's presentation by giving you a super short overview, and then I'll pass it over to Brett so he can tell us how he's using Nimble in conjunction with 366 Degrees. So what is Nimble? Nimble is an easy-to-use customer relationship management tool that helps small to medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs to manage their business relationships better. It integrates with both Office 365 and Gmail, and it unifies all your contacts, calendars, and communications into one place. We have all the basic CRM follow-up features that you can use to schedule to-dos for yourself or anybody else on your team and ensure that things are getting done, nothing is falling through the cracks, and you're following up on everything that you have promised. On top of that, Nimble has a segmentation feature that allows you to segment your database into targeted groups, as well as group messaging feature, which you can utilize to message these segmented groups and then get insights on the clicks and opens. Nimble also has deals and pipeline management feature together with reporting, and it costs $19 per user per month when you pay annually, and when you pay monthly, it's $25 per month per user. And before I pass it over to Brad, I also wanted to mention that we have a brand new webinar page set up, so you can access it either on the link that my colleague will share. It's nimble.com/company/webinars, or you can access it straight from our website when going under resources, and it will be the first option in the menu. So then there you'll see all the list of the webinars that we're hosting. We have daily Q&As that you can use to schedule a time to do a screen share with one of our customer support team representatives. So that's really useful when you're like just getting started, or you have a quick question and you just want somebody to quickly show you. We also have weekly training webinars. So one week we go through the entire Nimble app and the mobile application, and then the week after is always dedicated focusing on a specific feature, and we alternate like this. We also do influencer webinars, and we just started this case study webinar series, so check out the page. And also I wanted to let you know that at the end of today's session we'll have a survey popping up, so please take a few minutes to fill it out and let us know if there's anything specific you want us to create a webinar around or any different type of content, and we'll make that happen. And also, if you have any questions during today's session, please use the question box, let us know, and we'll be compiling everything and doing a Q&A at the end of today's presentation. So I think we're ready to pass it over to Brett.
Well, thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Megan. Thank you for having us today. And thank everybody for joining us. We're really excited to kind of take you through our story with Nimble and how we use Nimble with 366 Degrees and why we did it. So a little background on myself. I've been in the software business for about 25 years. Our company, Outsource Management, does primarily consulting in the CRM and marketing automation space. And so out of that came a service that we created called 366 Degrees. So many of you that took the polling questions earlier, we asked those for a reason, like were you using email marketing? What were you using for social posting? Were you using landing pages? We ourselves struggled with that for years. We used many products like HubSpot, MailChimp, Hootsuite, some other social property posting platforms, But one of the things that we really struggled with was all the integrations that it took to make that work with our CRM. And so 366 was really built to bring those 4 areas under one, platform. So email marketing, landing pages, social posting, and the automation, whether it was marketing related or sales enablement related, meaning, sales outreach or sales cadences. So we stumbled on Nimble. Actually, Nimble, we had been working on 366 and we found Nimble and really just kind of fell in love with Nimble. So we really worked to try to make it really seamless for the small business to take advantage of some of these things that you're not using today. So just a quick thing, the kind of 4 steps that we do, we're trying to really make it easy for small businesses to do sales outreach. Be able to use email as a communication for things like lead nurturing or onboarding or giving more information to your prospects or customers in a more automated fashion. And then the second area we really wanted to do is, as social became more relevant in the market with Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, which probably everybody has a LinkedIn account, we wanted to also allow the small business to be able to post to their social properties. I know that was a really pain for us, having all these different, having to go into Facebook or having to go into Twitter or having to go into LinkedIn to post things around our brand or our customers. So the idea of what we're going to go through with 366 will show you how we use it with Nimble, but we were trying to give people more insight to how their leads or customers were engaging with things that they were sending. It could have been, a white paper, a product sheet, an email, or a social post, but we've tried to bring that under one area. So what is 366 degrees? We classify ourselves as kind of a relationship marketing and sales outreach platform. So I'll move on. So what are the struggles that every business has, not even small businesses, but really refining and defining who your target audience is, and then communicating to them consistently, whether that is through email or whether that's on your social post or whether that's around your LinkedIn business page. So 366 works real well with Nimble and allowing you to pick and choose your audiences that you've already set up in Nimble. So as Michaela had mentioned, the ability to segment or do saved searches or tag different companies or individuals. That audience selection and communicating the right message is key. And I'm going to show you how we do that really seamlessly in our communications with Nimble using 366. And as everyone's probably heard or probably tired of hearing, personalization is becoming more important in the world. People want to, feel like they have a relationship with your company or your brand. So having the ability to personalize each communication or personalize outreach is important. And we'll show you that in Nimble and how we're doing that with Nimble. Engagement is really something that measures kind of interest. So the problem we were having before with our CRM and some of the other marketing tools that we used is they were separate in separate systems. So if someone was opening emails or watching videos, that was kind of in the marketing platform, and our sales team or customer support team or other people at OMI had no visibility to say how Michaela was engaging with us or what she was engaging with. And that was a key factor in why we built 366. And then the final is, every company needs to grow sales and increase revenue. And to do it at scale, it's one thing to have a good customer relationship management package like Nimble and be able to communicate one-to-one and build that trust and build that relationship. But it's another thing as your company starts to scale and you want to really get your name and brand out, you have to be able to communicate to larger audiences using this personalization to where it feels more like you're not just talking to a group of people, but you're talking to individuals. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through some of the areas that we're using Nimble and 366 for. I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple case studies. I'll show you some areas that we're working in, but it's not really meant to be a full demo of 366, but I'll try to highlight areas relevant to kind of show you how we use both solutions. to grow our business. So we'll talk a little bit about how you connect 366 and Nimble. It's very simple. You don't have to be technical. How you target Nimble contacts for outreach campaigns, whether that's marketing or sales. And then how 366 Degrees shares activities and interactions in Nimble. And then finally, how you add a contact to a drip or a cadence. And that can be for sales, that could be for customer onboarding. There's a lot of business cases that we will not, be able to go through, but I think everyone will get a good understanding. And then the general of how you're posting or sending communications to the different channels. Once again, our biggest problem before 366 is we had all these different platforms that we were trying to execute our communications, and there was really no visibility. So we're going to go ahead and start here. Bear with me. I'm going to make sure that I'm logged in. All right, so I'm in 366 right now. When you log into 366, you'll be able to see a dashboard of like your latest communications, your campaigns, your social posting, be able to launch, create emails, social posts, or landing pages. But it basically gives you just some general information on your response rate across where the data is coming from or what you're targeting. So from our Nimble CRM, we have, this is the last 90 days, we have a 73 point, basically 73% engagement. That's pretty good for response rate. And then you'll see your communications across the days. So without getting too much into that, I want to talk a little bit about that problem of the different 4 areas that Michaela talked about. Remember, we have a business, we have to communicate across these different channels, we have to really be able to scale our brand. So 366 for us allows us to connect to our Google calendars, connect to our Facebook properties, our LinkedIn properties, and our multiple Twitter brands that OMI has. So from our perspective, why this is important is we have several brands, product and company. So 366, OMI, and some other products. So 366 allows us to connect to these channels, and we can actually post and communicate to these channels. Another thing you'll see just real quick that's relevant to Nimble, and I'll go into this, is we do connect to other like leading industry platforms. So that the customer, the small business, doesn't have to know a lot about integration, doesn't have to try to get technical people to figure that out. So here you can see we're connected in Nimble and connected to Vidyard, which is a video platform. So I just wanted to give everybody a structure of that and what we're doing. So to highlight again the area of why we did this for our own business is we wanted to bring together the ability to communicate via email, via landing pages, and via social, and then automate that process. So I'm going to jump into Nimble real quick. So those of you that are familiar with Nimble will see quickly how we're interacting with Nimble. So you see here I'm on Michaela's lovely profile, and 366 integrates right through the integrations tab. So if you're on a record, you just click on this. And you'll notice 2 tabs and a drop down. You'll notice our activity stream and our drip kind of interface. So the activity stream is anything that we're communicating to Nimble contacts through 366. It's going to give us some context and engagement of what someone's doing. So you can see here that if I've sent Michaela a couple emails, that I've sent her an email, she clicked on an email, she opened it. So we're keeping a running history of every communication, whether it was marketing or sales related through 366, right on the Nimble contact record. So you have context to see live how people are engaging or when and how they're engaging with whatever you're sending them. You'll also notice at the top here, this engagement score. This can be considered a lead score. We call it engagement just because it may not be related to wholly sales. It could be customer related. But you'll notice we can show you in a little bit how we weight interactions, but it will give you a running score of how engaged that individual is. So for us, we start really looking at someone as a prospect from a lead perspective when they start getting over 60 points. That means that they're starting to interact with our communications, watch videos, open emails, click on links. So it's just indicator in Nimble that you can know how engaged this person is. So the second problem that we had on our sales side was the ability for our sales team to be able to execute kind of routine things. So what I mean by that is, say that someone was interested in our CRM consulting, or they were interested in another product or service that OMI had. We really wanted the sales team to be able to execute either product lead nurtures or service lead nurtures directly from the CRM without having to go to marketing and saying, hey, here's my list of my 20 leads this month. I need to give them some more information on our Nimble product or our 366 product. So what our drip campaigns do is allow you to build cadences, and I'll use one as an example. The cadences are behind this are automated drips that may be running, based on if someone opens an email, based on a date. There's several triggers that can do this, but at any time I can hover over what this campaign is. So if Michaela is a prospect for 366 and I'm a salesperson or someone in the company from an account management perspective, I can simply say, okay, Michaela is probably a good prospect for this. And I simply click on this and add her to a campaign. So what that's doing on the back end is that's going to actually call the campaign in 366. And Michaela will receive 7 emails. I believe it's over a 5-week process that's nurturing her and teaching her a little bit more about the products or services. So we also are a Nimble consultant. I don't know if anyone knew that, but we do a lot of consulting around Nimble as part of our business. So we also train people on Nimble. So in this case, when we bring a new customer on and they're using Office 365 for Nimble, you can see this is an onboarding campaign for a training perspective, but it's a 24 email cadence or drip, if you will, and it runs over 12 weeks so that once we bring a customer on board, we're training their employees through this automated process. So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, to companies, your business use cases are there's many. You can use it for anything: onboarding, partner communications, lead management, lead nurture. There's a lot of different things you can do, but once you create a campaign and make that available, it will automatically show up in your Nimble account. So I wanted to show everybody that. Connecting Nimble is really easy. I won't go through too much of it, but you go to your settings page and you pretty much connect the tokens, and then you're communicating to 366 degrees. So let's go into an example. Let's go to a campaign that's already running. I'm going to go search and see in progress by me, search campaigns. Get this out of the way real quick. New lead generation. So here we go. So here is that new lead generation that I just put Michaela in. So I'm going to go in and look at this. So I'm going to show you something that's already constructed and running. So that campaign that I just put Michaela in is a running campaign in 366 degrees. And you can see that we have 7 communication pieces. These are all emails. They could be social posts. They could be landing pages. But in this case, it's a 7-step email drip. So if I want to click into this at any time to see how how the campaign's performing, who I sent that to, and a text, kind of a contextual view of what the email is, I can always get to it at the campaign level. So this second email I can see is a video that we're using. Third step is another email, and some of these are case studies. So it's really very content driven, but this would be a lead nurture for us. So if we find someone that's interested in 366 degrees, I talked to them on the phone, they came in via a landing page, I can literally drop them in this campaign automatically from Nimble. So that's kind of a structured campaign. So let's just go through real quick and show you kind of like an email outreach, and then I'll show you how we constructed that automation, because I think that's what everybody's here to see. So I just built this before we got on really quick to show everybody how easy it is from the perspective of building some cadences. So just name this email here. I went in to edit the content. If you're doing sales outreach, we've really made it really easy that on our editor over here on the right, you can simply drop down and you'll see a sales outreach category. And in this category, we have about 10 different templates that are like pre-constructed and ready to go. So if I knew what my cadences were or what I wanted to say, I can simply go to one of these templates, and let's just say we're going to pull this one over, and this is a video template. We do integrate with Vidyard, so you can put live videos or uploaded videos in any of your sales or marketing outreach. So this is a thank you video that I did to somebody, so I just recorded this video. So if I wanted to actually use this particular video in this email cadence, I could simply do that, and I could pull the video right in. So one of the things that we're doing that's of value from a personalization perspective is you see anywhere in here I can put some personalization. So if I want to insert a company name or a contact's name directly from Nimble, I can add this to specific areas and personalize anywhere in this template. So if you want to build templates, it's pretty straightforward. If I didn't want that and I wanted to basically come over here and say, I don't really need a call to action, I just want to do this, you can easily pull all kinds of images that you're storing in 366 degrees, and you can use that imagery in any email that you're sending out. So that's how you construct an email. So let's say that I'm going to show you just really quick how you would schedule something and how it works with Nimble. So to us, we built this quick email that I want to send out. So now I want to say, okay, I want to send this to my Nimble leads. So what I'm going to do is just pick that particular email that I designed. I'm going to pick Nimble as my data source. So the power of 366 and Nimble and what we're doing is being able to try to segment our CRM data in Nimble into whatever we need to do. So if it's lead related, customer related, whatever it may be, I can filter my audience. This is back to that personalization and targeting your audience that I talked about in the beginning. I can pick a company name, a lead source, a lead status. I can use Nimble Save Searches if you guys are familiar with that, where you can build a save search in Nimble and I can pull that over, or I could pull a tag over. So let's just say that I want to target everybody with the lead source in Nimble that says, let's see here, Better Buys. So Better Buys is like an online data capture for us that we get leads. So this is actually in Nimble where we're storing this as a lead source. And I can simply retrieve that, and it's going to go show me and say, okay, I have this month's 36 leads from that lead source. So if I want to target that lead source, I've gone ahead and pulled my data out of Nimble. I can now schedule this right now, or I can schedule it at a later date. I can change the time that I want it to go. And then I can basically pick who I want this in my company to come from, right? And I can put this as Brett, and then I can send that. So once I execute that campaign, then any of those records in Nimble that I showed you with Michaela, I can start to see when they start engaging around that communication. So if I want to set up something to call someone when they open it or follow up when they open it, I can always see what's going on directly in Nimble. This was probably the biggest problem we were trying to solve as a company, is give our sales team and our other customer support team access to any communications that we were sending out to customers or leads, so they could see, what they were engaging with, when they were engaging with, and how they were engaging. So that was just a simple kind of overview to show you how campaigns are structured. Now what I'm going to do is real quick is I'm going to show you how you build a nurture. So before we got on, I just kind of structured this little campaign here. So this is just a drip campaign I'm gonna build. So I'm gonna add some assets. So let's say that I've got some emails. So in our drip campaigns, you can include emails, landing pages, or social posts across. But for this sample, I'm just going to use emails. So let's say that I want this to be a 3 email cadence. So I'm going to pick my emails that I want to go. And so you can see here, I'm going to send a 4 email cadence out, right? And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick these and then drop them into a cadence. And I'm sorry, I think I picked something that I didn't do. Hold on real quick. Let's go back here. Sorry about this. I had a different campaign. We're going to go like this. I'm going to pick a date of how long I want this to run. I'm going to pick a drip. I'm going to create it. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys, I had a wrong one up there. So we'll go here. Now I'm going to select my assets. All right, let's go back down here. So let's just associate this one, and this one. I'm going to define my workflow. So you're going to see here that I have those 3 emails. So I'm going to start defining what I want this to do. So I can basically pick a date that I want this to go out on. So if I want this to go out tomorrow, I can do that. I can score these emails, but I won't go too much into that, but it goes to the lead score. Then let's say I want my second email to go out to this particular group. I can do this off of a trigger. So if I pick a trigger, I can say it's open, clicked, or unopened. Let's just say if they open it, I can pick the number of times. If they open it 1, I can send it now, or I could pick a number of days, 1 day after, 1 hour after, and set it, and you'll kind of get the idea. But it's kind of a GUI build as you go. And so I can say, you know, I want this one to go on a date, and I want it to go out on the 21st, right? And so I can set that. So you can do these kind of workflows, if you will, or automation flows. I could tree off of this. So if they didn't open this, I could run another tree down. If they clicked on this, I could do another kind of level of sequencing. It's very simple though. So once it's done and set up, this is now available for you to use like in Nimble or off of a landing page. If somebody filled out a form, you can kick off these automation and follow-up flows. So we wanted to do this primarily in areas where, like I said, customer onboarding or lead nurturing, where that our sales team didn't have to say, wow, I need to send that 3rd email out, or I need to really communicate back to Brad about this video that we have. You construct all of your content, and it's very easy for you then to build those flows and target your audience out of Nimble. All right, so the second area that we wanted to show you guys what we're really doing is on the social posting side. It's very key for us to, you know, market our brands across different social properties. So what 366 allows you to do, and what we're using it for, is across our OMI pages, our 366 pages, and all of our social properties, we use 366 to manage our brands. That was very important to us, to be able to manage the brand out of one, you know, package. So if I'm going to click my Facebook, and here's all my business pages, our brands that we have, 366, OMI, Kickstart. And then let's say that I also want this to go to my LinkedIn account. So I can pick my LinkedIn accounts. We'll pick Paul. And then I can also pick my Twitter account. So if I pick my accounts, I can have multiple Twitter accounts. Like in our case, if it's relevant to 366, if it's relevant to OMI, or I want to post this on my personal Twitter page, I can. So from like a Hootsuite side, we're not really trying to replace a Hootsuite. We're trying to give you the ability to communicate more branding messages that are related to emails or other communications you're sending. And I can go to the scheduler and push this out a different date or time, or I can schedule this right now. And if I scheduled it, it would have gone out to all these different properties, right, from one thing. So that's how we're managing our social accounts. So across our different brands, we use 366 to manage any of our social postings across that. The other area, just real quick, I know some people were talking about landing pages. I built a really like call to action. So one of the things that we wanted to do with landing pages specifically for leads, for Nimble, is it was very important for us that we didn't get an email and say someone filled out a form on our landing page and then that get lost in the shuffle and sales never get the lead. So what we've done in the 366 is You have a full capability to build out any landing page you want. There's all kinds of things in here, kind of pre-made templates that if you want to grab these, you can build a landing page pretty quickly. If I wanted to say, featured on, if we were in some article or something, I can drag these things down. I can change the fonts, the technology, any of the tech stuff, I can change it. And then basically, if I want to get my submit form to do something like create a lead in Nimble, which is what we use it for. So I want to drive someone to this landing page as a call to action, and I want them to actually be created in Nimble or actually go into a drip campaign directly from this form. So what I do is I can configure this submit form, and I can do a couple things. I can either pull a download like a PDF or a PowerPoint or a pricing sheet that I want for them to download as soon as they fill this out. I can pick my auto respond template of where this is coming from, right? I can pick the person in my company that I want this to come from, the autoresponder. I can define my subject. I can subscribe them to our newsletter upon submit. I can define the lead source of where this came from. So if this was a 366 degrees lead source, or if I wanted to create a new lead source, I could. But the real time saver for us and what we were trying to do was really get these leads or call to actions back to the CRM and back to our sales team or back to someone who could follow up quickly. So what you see on the bottom of all of our submit buttons is the ability for you to automatically create a lead in Nimble. Someone fills out a landing page or call to action, you can automatically create a new lead in Nimble so that the data is in both systems. You'll also get an email from 366 saying that a new lead is created. So we've gone over the automation part, kind of the creation part. I didn't go too much into design because it's a little bit more, but now what are you looking for? You're looking for reports like who's opening emails, how many times they're opening, who's filling out landing pages, how many posts are kind of being interacted with on Twitter. So across any of the channels that we're driving information to, you can always get to the data as what was tweeted out. So we're always going to show you the image, we're going to show you the message, we're going to show you the link shortener, so that if a post was doing really well, you may retweet this or repost this from 366. As well as if you're getting into emails, I won't go too much into this, but if I was going into emails, I can see, my open rates, what were good open rates, how many people opened. I can drill into the actual campaign itself, so I can see, what was sent, who I sent it to, how many opened, how many clicked, how many failed, and who clicked through. So there's reporting around all the engagement of any information that you create, a landing page, social post, or email. So one last area from an automation perspective, what becomes important if you're using it in the sales side, which was important for us, is we kind of wanted to rate that engagement score of who was engaged and how engaged were they. So here is where you can define per your company the interactions and activity around content you're creating. You can build your own score. So if you want to build your own score, if someone opts out of an email or opts out of a newsletter, you can degradate the score. If a new lead, if you classify as them a new lead, you can give them 50 points, give them 40 points. We've made this very open so that each business, small business, can define what's important to them or what they feel they think would be relevant to engaging. And at any point, what we're doing is not static. So you can change these areas to actually, take those points away after a certain time period. So if someone hasn't been engaging after 90 days, you can kind of degrade that score back down. So scores will move up or down. So I hope that's a good overview. But once again, the main thing that we're doing, it solves for our business, was the ability to send multi-channel communications, email or landing pages or social, automate some of those communications where it made sense from a business case, lead nurturing, partner onboarding, customer education, and have that information readily available to everyone in our company in Nimble so that they don't have to be going back and forth to the two systems. So I think that's probably enough to digest. I hope I didn't give everyone too much information. Hope you got enough to see why we did it and how it's a benefit to us. But Nimble is a great asset to us in our top of the funnel where we're researching people and in the early sales process where we can tag those individuals or drop them in a lead nurture early on. And that's a great use case for any business that's kind of doing out or reaching out to new customers or new leads. So that's about it for me, Michaela. I'm going to jump back to the pricing real quick, and then I'm going to hand it over for questions. Fair enough?
That sounds good.
Good. So what does 366 cost? So we have 3 plans. One is a monthly plan, another is a yearly plan. So if you go month to month, our pricing is a little bit higher. If you commit to the year, your pricing is $99 a month, $295 or $595. These different price points are really dependent on the size of your company and the size of your database in your CRM. So at a $99, if you have 50,000 contacts, which is a lot for a small business, you get all the areas that we talked about. And then as you grow or you look for more emails or more functionality that you can upgrade to the plans at any time. So on this webinar, we're giving a 2-month free for any of the webinar guests that would like to, come on board with 366 Degrees. You get 2 months free on an annual plan. So Michaela, that is about all I have. We'll go to this and then open up for questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. Like you said in the beginning, everybody needs to do more sales and increase revenue, and being able to automate the sales process is crucial to scale in your business. So hopefully this was helpful, and those people that are not yet using any marketing or sales automation might want to check it out. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about our upcoming webinars. We actually have one tomorrow with sales funnel expert Liz Hyman. She'll be talking to our community about how to use your sales funnel to grow your business. She'll talk about how to set it up, how many stages you should have, and she'll talk a little bit about like her philosophy. So her philosophy is to keep your funnel very short, the stages. I think she recommends keeping it to the maximum of five stages, and then setting up individual activities for in between deals. So if you're interested in learning more about how to create a sales funnel, you can go on our website, it's nimble.com/company/webinars, and you can still sign up for the webinar. And then on Friday, I will be hosting a webinar focusing on importing contacts into Nimble. We'll cover how to import CSV files. I'll talk about our integration with PieSync, which is a company that specializes in bidirectional contact synchronization. And thanks to them, we're able to integrate with over 160 software as a service applications. So that's really nice. And I'll also focus on custom fields, because Nimble gives you the ability to create up to 5 custom tabs and then over 100 custom fields. So if there are any specific fields that you might want to be using in your business that Nimble doesn't offer at this moment, you can create that, and I'll be covering that on Friday. And on October 23rd, I'll be going through the entire application, and I'll also do a demo of our mobile app. And October 30th, I'll be hosting a special webinar, and I'll focus on how to use Nimble for personal branding and networking. So again, you can go on our website and under resources, you can find the entire website with all the webinars where you can sign up, or you can go directly to nimble.com/company/webinars. And I also wanted to reiterate Brett's offer. So he's giving to everybody that attended today 2 months for free if you decide to sign up for the annual subscription. So you can claim that with promo code Nimble366. And if you're not using Nimble yet and you want to check it out as your CRM, you can take advantage of our offer. You can go to nimble.com/offer/webinar, webinar 30, and my colleague will share the link in the chat, and you can claim 30 days for free. If you're currently in trial, you can also let us know at care@nimble.com, and we'll make sure to extend the trial for you so you can also use it for 30 days. So thank you so much again. Have a great day.
Thank you.